Hello, fellow Rebel Capitalists. Hope you're well. Let's talk about some good news for a change. There is this asset class that nobody is talking about that I am wildly bullish on. Now, it's not to say this is investment advice of any sort. Do not listen to what I am saying, but I want to tell you, I want to be honest with you about what I'm looking at for my own personal portfolio. So let's dive into this story and check out actually, I can't. Well, I'll have to give you the news before we go into the story. So the big news is the UAE has announced that they are making gambling legal. Now, we're going to go into the specifics because they've been talking about this, but now they're taking definitive steps to make gambling legal in places like Dubai. So we've got to start that process that I talk about that I learned in St. Bart's that we discussed in Rebel Capitalist Pro the other day. The top down, the 5 steps, right? But the 5 steps lead me to the conclusion that I think this particular asset is going to benefit huge from them opening up gambling in the UAE, specifically places like Dubai. Because Josh, do you know what happens when you bring in casinos?
What?
Oh, Josh, come on now. Josh, we rehearsed this, dude. Everybody knows what happens when the casinos come in. It's just like they say on Tommy Boy. Remember the movie Tommy Boy?
I remember it very vaguely from my childhood.
So if you want to feel old, if you're feeling a little too young, you Gen Xers and baby boomers, there you go. Now you should feel extremely old. Well, here is what happens, Josh, when you open up to the casinos. We'll hear it right from Tommy Boy.
Done with them. If this factory goes under, the whole town goes under.
And that's when the whores come in.
There we go.
There you go. So what happens, Josh, when you open up gambling to a society like the UAE?
The whores come in.
That's when the whores roll in. And the funny part of that clip, as most of you remember, that's what she says like over and over and over again. She just keeps beating on that horse to make her husband really feel like a heel. That is when the whores roll in. But it's not just when the whores roll in, but it's also when the money rolls in, when the tourism rolls in, and this is going to directly benefit real estate, in my opinion. So let's go through the details. After we watch Tommy Boy there, and we good comedy looks like. But now that we've done that, let's shoot over to CNBC. I got to do the screen share, guys. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, now let's go over to, oh my gosh, Josh, we're doing it again. Can you believe this? 2 times in one day. We're going to CNN. What is this world coming to? Josh, I need more out of you, buddy. I never want to see another article from CNN in my life. Write that down. You got to step it up, Josh. All right. So Abu Dhabi, with glitzy luxury resorts and world-renowned horse racing industry, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, soon might have a new card to play in attracting visitors. This is gambling. The UAE introduced a new regulatory body to oversee commercial gaming on Monday. So they have been talking about this for a long time. In fact, we've been talking about this in Rebel Capitalist Pro pretty much since 2020. And I got this directly from my good buddy, Chris McIntosh, who is one of my partners, along with Lynn Alden, in Rebel Capitalist Pro. We're actually going to get over to that in just a moment. But this has been on the horizon. They've been talking about this, but now they're actually taking action. It's not just the words. They're actually getting out there and doing it. So I've got to assume that this is going to come to fruition. Made up of casinos and gambling experts. So it's not just, they said, initially the pushback that you would get back in 2020 or 2021 is, yeah, this might happen, but no, it's just going to be a resort. They're never going to allow gambling. They're never going to allow blackjack and slot machines and gaming and just maybe horse racing or something like that. No, look at this. They set up a regulatory body to oversee commercial gaming. And this regulatory body is made up of casino and gambling experts, not just resort experts on what makes a good, pool party or something like that. From the United States, gambling is currently illegal in the UAE, where some laws are based on the Quran. Looks like they're kind of, they want to stick to their roots. But they're also looking at this and maybe kind of the progressives, not using that term the way that we use it, but the people that are want to impact change there and maybe go a different direction. It seems like they have the reins right now. And boy, oh boy, that, like I said, is not only when the whores roll in, but that is when the money rolls in. And that makes real estate go up. That's when the jobs are created. Tourism. If they pull this off, even if they do it like Singapore, this is going to be a boom for their economy, along with all the other tailwind they have with oil and energy prices over the long run, not in the short run, but over the next 10 years, let's say, being a commodity super cycle. Boy, this is where a lot of the commodities are in the areas that are going to be most favorable to Dubai or the UAE for that matter. So industry veterans Kevin Mullally and Jim Murren have been hired for key roles as CEO and chair respectively of this organization that they're setting up there. It looks like they both have experience, one with MGM and the other at Gaming Laboratories International. Last year, casino operator Wynn Resorts inked a deal to build a luxury resorts in Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates with a gaming area. A statement by Wynn Resort did not elaborate on whether gambling would be involved. Well, now we know. So another thing that I was just going over with Josh, and again, this is not investment advice at all. You should, in fact, probably do the opposite of what I'm talking about or what I might do for my own portfolio. I barely graduated from high school, definitely not a financial planner. I have no license. I've never even taken a finance class or an econ class for that matter. So take it for what it's worth. But what I was talking to Josh about is we pulled up a chart of Wynn. In fact, maybe we can go over there right now. Here we go. And when we get a GFC type of event, you can really see just the bottom falls out here. And they just completely drop. They had a big drop there too. But during the cerveza sickness, same type of thing. So if we go into an economic recession, then I think we will most likely see the exact same thing. Now, I'm not saying that Wynn would be the way to play this, but one of those casino stocks could be, if it gets down to a point where the PE is super, super low, the dividend looks good. I always like to set up my portfolio in a 10-80-10, 80% paying me to own it. That would include dividend stocks. So this is something that I'm definitely putting on the watch list and possibly a way to play this opening up, if you will, of the UAE. But we've been talking about this in Rebel Capitalist Pro for quite some time. I want to go over there right now. And this is kind of inside the form. This is what the members see. And one of the neat things about Rebel Capitalist Pro is we actually take all the live streams that we do with Lynn Alden, Chris McIntosh, Brent Johnson, Patrick Sarazna, Jason Hartman, and myself. And I have editors break each question down and answer by specific keywords. So after the fact, you can go ahead and just do a keyword search and pull up any applicable content. So as an example right here, I put UAE gambling, and it takes us to a replay of a live Q&A I did on my birthday, actually, January 30th, 2022, where we talk about this specifically, the UAE opening up to gambling, and I'm sure I referenced real estate back then. And then I want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out and hat tip to my good buddy, Chris McIntosh. Like I said, he's a partner. His research, this Insider Weekly, is included in Rebel Capitalist Pro. But here he is in 2020, in December of 2020, right here. I want to point out, and this is part of his monthly or bi-weekly letter here, UAE, the right path. And if you scroll down to the section where he's talking about this, exact same thing. He's talking about the Dubai and all of these things that are giving tourism a big tailwind, along with the energy sector long term over the next 10 years due to a commodity super cycle, and the gambling component, and how that could just be a boom for their overall economy. So now let's get back to CNN and see if we can go over some more specifics here. Let's see, they said there should be no concern that there is a broader legalization process in order for gaming to occur in that property. Oh, that's what okay. So that's what Wynn told shareholders back when they first set up this resort in 2018. They're like, oh yeah, we're setting up this huge, like 100,000 square foot area with carpet and I don't know, there's these tables over there, but just disregard that. They what do they like? Put it behind some sort of curtain or something like that. Oh, it's just this area of 100,000 square feet, and I mean, it could theoretically be used as a casino, but no, of course we're not using it as a casino. No. Just go on that water slide and have fun. That's basically what they were saying. And another thing Josh and I were talking about is you look at Macau and just what it has become as a result of Chinese coming down there to gamble. And I think you could see the exact same thing happen to Dubai and the UAE. Maybe not specifically with the Chinese coming down, but the Europeans. And where do you think they're going to go, especially with all this nonsense that's happening in the EU right now? They're going to go straight to Dubai. Another thing that we discussed is, and this is more long-term, I'm not talking about even in the next 10 years, but maybe the next 20, 30 years, if you're looking at this as a super long-term play, is when people start getting richer, for whatever reason, they start participating or they start buying things that make them unhealthy. So when people get richer, they start eating more sugar, as an example. They start drinking more alcohol, smoking cigarettes, gambling. These are things that people do as they earn more and more money. And so if you look at Africa, if you're bullish on that continent for the next, let's say 30 years, and again, I'm not talking about the next 10 years, but 30 years or so, then Dubai is going to be a huge beneficiary, or the UAE, with those people wanting someplace to go and have fun. You want to go to a club, you want to see David Guetta, you want to go to a place where all the whores are rolling in. But you can get a good steak. You can go to Cut Steakhouse or STK, one of these fancy places. You want to live like a high roller. And we understand that in the United States. Listen, Africans are the exact same way. So are South Americans. So are Asians when they make more money. So are the people in India, for heaven's sakes. India, half of Dubai is Indians. I'm talking about from India. If you're bullish on their economy, which I think you should be over the long run, again, where are they going to go to gamble? Where are they going to go to have fun? Like Americans go to Vegas. They're going to go straight here. So main takeaway, guys, is this asset class that nobody's talking about that I am really, really bullish on. Not that I'm buying it, not that I'm taking any actions. I want to be very, very clear, and this is not investment advice, but I'm definitely taking the real estate there, putting it back on the watch list. As most of you know from watching my videos, if you're a true diehard fan, I've been talking about Dubai real estate even back in 2020. But now we can expand that even further. And since then, of course, what's Dubai real estate done? It's gone absolutely parabolic. So you got to wait till it's cheap. You got to wait for the right moment. But this could be something that's interesting, especially if we get a recession, even if you're not buying the real estate, looking at these stocks such as Wynn. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. As always, make sure that you're standing up for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism. And if you want more of the top news stories from today and yesterday, Josh will put up a playlist maybe right over there. Check it out, and we'll see you on the next video.